G'day guys, MFWest here, and today we have a Stormwall Blockade Mythic guide. Okay, so Guild's finally gotten through to Jaina, and I think we've got about like a month and a bit left until this tier's over. And then of course like the 1 to 2 weeks when the patch comes out until the next raid. There's always that 1 to 2 weeks where there's like, you can't raid. But yeah, hopefully we're gonna get Jaina down. She's a seriously tough boss. I think about like 4 guilds in our server have only killed it, so nothing too crazy. Now, Blockade is a decent fight for Unholy, but there are classes that do it better, like multi-dotters and whatnot, but we bring a lot of utility to the fight, okay? So I'm just going to quickly run through my talents, the gear that I have currently, and then let's get straight into the video, okay? So, first of all, my gear, honestly, I've been seriously unlucky, guys. It's been a horrible tier for me in terms of luck. I don't have a single overwhelming power trait on any of my Azurites, okay? I've got horrible, like, inner ring traits, and overwhelming power, as you guys know, is amazing. It does so much for us. So I'm currently saving Residium to buy some overwhelming power pieces. I should be able to get my biz by the end of the tier, which is quite sad, but Jaina Prog, it'll help, so yeah. This is the gear that I run for the fight, and I haven't got a Titan Forged ramping amp. Still got the Grong trinket, and everything's pretty much the same. This is what I got from the boss when I bonus rolled and looted it. Yeah, nothing too crazy, guys. I'm not like Imber geared, and that really stunts my DPS because Unholy is already Gimp spec, so not having biz really does not help my situation. Alright, talents is very specific for this fight, okay? All will serve Ebb and Fever, nothing changes. Grip of the Dead, you're going to see at the end when the 2 ads spawn on the platform. When they get in range, you want to use your D&D because this is going to be a huge slow on top of the Frost Mage slow, okay? Sorry, but because you can use it on the Sirens. Spell Eater is amazing on this fight. You're going to see me point out the best uses for it in the video to come. Epidemic, you're going to see how to use that, and then Unholy Frenzy. So, without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so here we are. Sister Catherine, I'm on the left side of the fight, and we start off with like the electrical lines and whatnot. I know what they're called, but so you're pretty much doing your basic, simple rotation. And one thing to note, I think I mentioned it maybe in the beginning, but I don't have any overwhelming power traits. My single target is pretty gimped. I think I'm simming at around 25k DPS, and with just a few overwhelming powers, I would be literally simming so much more. Okay, so I like to hold on to my Grongs here until after the second Crackling Lightning goes out, because if you pop Grongs and then Crackling Lightning goes out and you get it, then you're screwed. So always be watching the timers and making sure that you drop your C-Swell back into the spot, or however your guild does it. Another thing is that I take the Empowered AMS talent, so if we do need to stack into a Lightning, if we want to stack to drop the C-Swells, AMS is a great way to deal with it. When you're dropping the Crackling Lightnings as well, AMS is a good way to mitigate a lot of unnecessary damage on you. If you get, we'll get to it now, but Brother Joseph swaps, and now we're gonna get the what are they called? Banshees, whatever they're called. You know what I mean? Those sea creature things that seduce you. Basically, if you get targeted by one and you know your character's gonna run through shit, AMS so that when you walk over it, you won't take any damage. So that's very, very important. Just a little tip there. Siren. The name of it's a Siren. Okay. Always make sure that you swap to the Siren and kill it, and it will die very, very easy. Yeah, so our damage on our boss is normally a bit faster than the other. The Sister at the start of the fight, Sister has like a bigger shield or whatnot and more HP, so you want to have your higher damage dealers on the left boat and more bursty classes on the left boat, so yeah. So we're just going to finish off Brother Joseph here, and make sure that you do not press onto the portal until the other boat's done. Watch the percent of the other boat, otherwise you're going to be teleported to the other boat and it's going to be very awkward. Now, at this point after you kill Brother Joseph, you want to dismiss your pet. If you don't know what the dismiss macro dismiss macro that I use for my pet, I will put it down in the description. Just comment it in case I haven't, but it should be down in the comments. Just check that. So you want to dismiss your pet right here, and as you can see, like a spastic I click on the thing too early and I go to the wrong platform. As I say to warn you guys. So resummon your pet here because it gets glitched out on the boat, and continue to do your damage here. So I like to get it to around 4 to 5 stacks and then Grongs, and then you're going to make sure that we're stacking onto the marker, and we're going to look to go in a little bit to the far right here. You're going to see where the where we stack our melee. So Ceasewell drops, make sure you get out of that, and then just move over to the right stacking point, okay? So for the majority of this fight, it's a bit RNG on how much, like how well you're going to do on the fight, because one, we can't really, we're not like a range class. We can't multi-dot as better than Shadow Priest and Boomkins. Melee are really quite useless on this fight, to be honest. And we have like 6 million in this kill vid, so it's pretty funny. But nonetheless, I'll let you guys know some tips and where you can actually cleave a lot better than places where you couldn't. So we're always going to drop Ceasewell into this area. Now, when the Sirens spawn that close to the boss on the left side, you can press Epidemic and it will cleave onto the Siren because of how big the boss's hitbox range is. The Siren behind me over there, you cannot cleave with Epidemic. So whenever the ad that walks in is in melee range, make sure that you're using Epidemic because you can cleave onto it. A great way to use AMS there is when you cannot avoid the lightning across the platform. Your empowered AMS will completely negate it, and you pretty much can have it up for every second lightning phase, okay? Another good thing to note is when you do take damage from that lightning thing, it will drop you up down to around 30%, 40% HP. Finesse a Death Strike, because that Death Strike is going to be huge, because remember how Death Strike works, it's a percent of how much damage you take that you can heal back, so it's very effective. You can literally bring yourself back to 60% HP with one Death Strike, and that will help out your raid and healers a lot. Not optimal for DPS, but it will keep you alive. Okay, so we're getting down, the boss is getting 50% HP here. I do have the D&D talent where you can drop it down and it'll slow them by 90% and decay. It's very, very effective here. As you can see there, the Crackling Lightning just went out there. I should dot up the ad here, and he's just about to enter Epidemic cleave range, but he's going to be dead. So range doing a good job of taking care of him, which is great. And now the double ads will spawn, I think, this time or the next time round. So Siren spawns, you can cleave on this one with Epidemic here. This one here spawns that is also in range of Epidemic, I believe so. So we've got double Epidemics here. Swap onto the Siren. We are really, really bad at swapping targets, guys. Like, Unholy is terrible at swapping targets, especially mid-fight, because your runes are all on cooldown and you don't really want to dedicate, like, having a festering strike on a mob. So I AMS this big lightning thing here because a lot of shit's happening. The two ads spawn, and when they get closer, I will use my D&D here. Okay, we lust after these ads reach the boss, pretty much. So you'll see here, and you want to get the juiciest Army of the Dead off that you can. So make sure you keep Virulent Plague up. I D&D there it goes. They get very, very slow with the Frost Mage slow as well. And Sirens are priority. You can lose very important people to Sirens, so it's very important that you're always swapping to the Sirens. So they're going to come into cleave range here, and I believe we lust about now as well. I use Grongs here, I cancel it, and I make sure I step out of that freaking knockback there, which the tank takes, and we're good to go. This is it. Now we just burn the boss and literally avoid all damage. I IBF that lightning strike, and I'm fine. So we're going to lust in a second here, and it's a race now to kill the boss before the next ad reaches the boss. So I army here, and we're going to get a pretty juicy army. I wish I could tell you. I don't know how much the individual army cast did, but over the fight, my Army of the Dead minions, and including the main ability, did about 700k damage. So how people pretty much pass well in this fight is how well and how lucky the Siren spawn locations are, because that's when you can cleave, okay? And yeah, that's pretty much it. So this boss, honestly, I find it a lot easier than Mech, and we killed this about last week from when this video will be posted, about 2 weeks maybe, and we're on Jaina now, so that's very fun. I'm not looking forward to doing Jaina, and yeah, so that will be the next video that I post. I do have a Mech POV that I can post. Let me know down in the comments if you want to see that. Pain of an ass of a fight, but yeah, I probably will post that as well, guys. So unfortunately, no best in slot chess piece. Quite sad. I've been very, very unlucky with gear in general this tier. Like, you guys can't imagine. I'm so unlucky with gear. No overwhelming power trades. It's quite sad. But plenty more videos to come. Thank you for watching, and stay unholy. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter at MFWest. Wow, and let me know any questions that you have down below in the comments. Peace. Have a good one.